everybody, my name is K.Butler, and before I get started, I do want to acknowledge that public speaking is not my strong area of expertise. I'm actually quite nervous. Now, with that out of the way, I do want to go into details about what I will be speaking with you guys on today. I'll be speaking on social media and the effects on our mental health. Social media has intertwined itself as part of our everyday life, affecting our mental health. Currently, I am a social work major here at Johnson C. Smith University, where mental health is king. It is very dear and is very important to everything that we do, taking on everyone else's mental issues. In this speech, I will go over relationships to social media and mental health. I will also discuss research and findings that support my social media and mental health speech, as well as provide suggested tools that I use that I feel like have better promoted my own personal control when it comes to dealing with social media. Social media platforms and general mental health can be positive and they can also be negative at the same time. For instance, social media can raise awareness. It can also promote fake news. Social media can combat loneliness and also promote loneliness at the same time. Social media can normalize help-seeking behaviors, but at the same time, while doing those things, still encourage antisocial behaviors. To further go into detail, I do want to elaborate why these things are the way they are. Social media has caused fatigue and poor academic performance in relevance to stressors. And when I say stressors, I'm talking about things such as social comparison, self-disclosure, and identity crisis. A lot of people don't even understand that they're doing these things, although they are doing these things. When we look on social media, we're constantly seeing these influencers. We're seeing these females with these bodies that are trained professionally to achieve, but down inside, we're like, okay, I want to look like that, or I want to be like that. Not really understanding that's not real. Social media, these stressors can also cause things such as low self-esteem, jealousy, emotional distress, and exhaustion. Do you think about how many things you come encounter with every day when you look on social media? Now in 2022, a lot of people are using social media for more than just entertainment. We're using social media for news. We're using social media for Outlook, and we're using social media just to be in the knowing, in the loop. The BET Awards can come on tonight. We can miss them and figure out everything that happened, to the latest bloopers, to who performed what, who sang what, and who featured who, all because of social media. Social media has shown evidence to interfere with job performance. When you're at work, the internet is our greatest, it can be our best friend, and it can also be our worst enemy. We have access, we're not children anymore. So when you're working, the internet is available to you to use any way that you see fit. And a lot of people, for entertainment, they use the social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, just to be in the knowing. Social class is something that is very important to a lot of social media users. Not understanding that social media is an edited depiction of life. That's not real life. Again, it's an edited depiction of life. Research also goes to show that fake news and identification on social media go hand in hand. A lot of people, to keep up with their social class, they're more ready to expose a lot more themselves that the normal person would never expose. They're more willing to post their every move. They're more willing to say what's on their mind. They're more willing to promote whatever behavior that is going on, although deep down inside it's like, okay, do I really want to tell the world all this? But for that like, for that push of that button, they will do so. But those who don't usually have healthier states of mental health because, again, they're protecting their well-being, they're protecting their state of mind, they're protecting their personal identification and not exposing that to the world. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet, and there's really no going back. Again, as far as resources, I wanted to go into detail about the fear of missing out. A lot of people who have high following classes or is very, very well known in their social influence, they are afraid of missing out. Things can be one way today and change tomorrow. So in order to stay on top of everything that's going on, you have to keep up with the times. Even with technology, social media is a form of technology that demands and insists that you keep up with what's going on, whether it's posting, whether it's editing, whether it's promoting, whether it's selling. Social media influences all of those things. Instead of turning on the TV and looking at the news and seeing what's going on in our community, now we'll look on our phone and we'll look at Apple News and we'll look at Facebook and we'll look at any form of Twitter, just to see what's going on or who said what, not necessarily understanding and taking in consideration that those things are false depictions, or maybe not false, but definitely the narration is edited. I also want to discuss the negative effects of not positively controlling your social media in your youth. So, I am a mother of 5, I'm a wife, I also am a full-time student. And I've fell victim myself, whenever I'm trying to get schoolwork done or I need to distract my kids, I'll give them my phone. I do have parental controls, but I will give them my phone and allow them to entertain themselves, whether it be educational based or musically based. They will have the option to entertain themselves. But although I am one who is taking in consideration that parental control, a lot of people don't. So a lot of children, a lot of teenagers, a lot of tweens, they have more access because now they have cell phones. Nowadays, smartphones are in everyone's hand. Even my 6-year-old has one. So I definitely understand that. But the earlier we give them these things and the sooner they understand these things, and children, they adapt very easily. So keep catching up, keeping up, even being in the midst of what's going on in social media, they pick up like that. If we're not controlling those things, we're already promoting, without even knowing, self-tarnish, in a sense, as body shaming. We're sitting here promoting false depictions on what happiness is really supposed to look like, when in our reality, happiness is your mindset, how you control yourself, how you control your environment, how you present yourself, how you decide to, again, protect your mental state of mind. And if we don't, then we have children who in the early stages of life are already experiencing things like depression, body shaming. They're already experiencing low self-esteem. I want to go into a source that states that that demonstrates that young social media users who fear missing out are more likely to disclose more personal information about themselves. So again, to keep up with the knowing, they're willing to tell the world a little bit more about themselves. Studies examine the effect of excessive social media use on individual job performance. Also creates poor performance results, which is understood, but we're not really understanding exactly how we perform poorly. When you're constantly on your phone, or you're constantly at your computer, or you constantly have to respond to this person or get back with that person, you're pulling away from your potential as far as an employee. Your employer, when he looks at you, they're not going to think, oh, well, this person just has to do this really quick and they'll be right back. No. Whenever someone hires you, they're anticipating that you're going to give everything that you can to the corporation, to the company, and they want to see the best you that you can be. But if your brain is in constant overload, and when I say overload, you're taking in way too much information, and that's one of the negative aspects of social media. It gives you a lot of information at one time, and your brain is constantly trying to process that information, and in doing so, it's distracting you from what's really going on in real life. So I also want to discuss some of the things that I've done to personally control my social media usage, which was deactivate different platforms such as Snapchat and Facebook. I chose to deactivate these reasons because, again, I do agree. I am one who believe that these are all edited false depictions, and the more I see these things, the more it's persuading me to want to be like that, or promoting me and having me have self-doubt, and that is not great mental health. That is actually a very poor mental practice. So deactivating and pulling myself away from those things, I'm able to look at myself and look at my life and see what I want and understand what is really happiness for me and my family, and act on it and be happier, because happiness for me is a mental state of mind, not what I can show or what I can prove to the next person. I also decided to step away from social media because it is a distraction. I am a college student, I am a mom, I am a wife. Those things demand time, those things demand effort, those things demand my undivided attention. And if I'm constantly scrolling or being entertained by false narratives, how do I give the proper amount of time to those areas in my life? And from my family, I hear that is being very positive for the most part. Is very, open as far as having real conversations now versus, oh, well, I'm going to send you this just to kind of infer what I'm feeling or infer what I'm thinking. We can actually talk about it now. We can actually have conversations about how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking or how they're feeling or how they're thinking. And it has been the best thing for us this far. I do want to conclude with reassuring you guys that social media is not all bad, but it's not the greatest thing at all times. And if you're not careful about your use and you become more excessively useful to the social media platforms, it can cause more harm than it can cause good. So I do want to leave on the term of a positive affirmation is that I am in charge of my own life. But this is not something that I Googled. This is not something I heard. This is something I stated for my own personal well-being. Because I am in charge. And I do believe that things as simple as pulling away from social media and controlling my own narrative definitely promotes control over my own life. Have a good day.